Hi everyone, my name is Bhumika, and today here with me we have Mr. Deepinder, who is an expert in European education from past 22 years. So, hi Deepinder, welcome.
Thank you, Bhumika. Thank you for hosting me again one more time. Let's go. Let's do this one.
Great. So, we have seen a lot of shifts in the education industry trend, specifically for the students who are going abroad. Last year, we have seen a lot of dips from the major destinations like Canada, UK, USA. So, at the moment, is Europe the hottest destination for Indian students to go and study there?
Very rightly said, the dip is absolutely there. As we say, Canada, US not giving visas, Australia changing the policy. Definitely, Europe is picking up. Europe is picking up not only just now, it has been picking up for quite some years now. And if we see about students, students have changed their destinations based on ROI. They're more ROI concern than the destination concern. The employability has taken over the PR and citizenship. So students today want to be a global citizen, and they know that for this they need skills, which means that they need to go to the right university and the right country. Probably the right country is a secondary now, and right university is more primary. So yes, it's true. Students are going to Germany, France, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, these countries. Of course, they are the Central European countries, more bigger countries, widely known countries for this destination. But then students are also looking at cheaper options, or I should say affordable options, where students want to go and study in Czech Republic, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Hungary, Slovenia, where they can study the same education at a fraction of a cost.
Great. Yes, I have seen a lot of your videos about expensive Europe and affordable Europe.
Yes.
So, coming to the affordable Europe side here, so affordability, does it mean less skills? Does it mean less value for a degree? Does it mean lesser educated faculties? Does it mean low quality life for a student? What does an affordability means here?
Okay. So, see, first thing first, we have to understand the entire domain. Then you can understand how the affordability and expensive education can affect your quality of education. When you go to Europe, you go to EU, you go to European Union, where you have multiple countries, and they all agreed that the quality of education is going to be same. So which means that the accreditation and the recognition of EU education is EU education. Example, a student at a bachelor degree in Latvia want to do a master's in Sweden, he can be accepted. A student who have education from Germany want to work in Malta, his education will be recognized, right? So one thing is very clear. In India, you have a degree recognized by UGC Grant Commission. You do a BTech from IIT or you do a BTech from IP University. Your BTech degree recognition is same. Your value can be different. Your institution can be different. Your course curriculum can be different. What you're going to study in BTech in IIT is way above than the IP University. But once they both become a BTech graduates, they can apply for an MTech in IIT or any other university because they all have the same recognition. Similarly, education in Europe is same recognized across the European Union. Second thing, all these students who study in different countries pay different prices as per the cost of education. So cost of education in Denmark is higher because living cost is higher. The salaries are higher. So you have to invest more money. It will cost you around about 15 lakh rupees to study in Denmark. In Sweden, the same program costs you cheaper to study in Czech Republic because in a public university because it's subsidized. So you still have to pay lesser money because your education is at low cost because of the income index, or also sometimes it's still subsidized by the government on the government universities. So when we say free education, low paid education, it is not free. The tuition fee is covered partially by government or fully by government. Example, you say study free in Germany. Who gonna pay? Somebody has to pay for university, professors, and the faculty. So government pays for it. They consider you as a local student. Sometimes they need some specific education. Let's say Denmark, Finland, Sweden used to have free education. Germany still have free education, but very difficult to get in if you're talking about the English taught program. Coming to the quality and the recognition, I think we've spoken on this now. Let's understand the skills point of view. So, Bhumika, you cannot recruit international student on a program in European Union if it has not been passed by Ministry of Education in advance, which means and recognition come for only certain time. So, I'll give you a small example. A program which is called Master in, let's say, economics got a recognition for 5 years. University can only run that program in Malta or in Italy, wherever, for only 5 years. After 5 years, they have to again apply for recognition, and that too well in advance before they lose the recognition of the program, which means that you cannot run a substandard education in the country. And this recognition process is controlled by EU, followed by each country one by one. So you cannot have a low quality education. When you ask, if you're paying affordable tuition fee versus the expensive tuition fee, so you go to IIT, in a small city, IIT Kharagpur, and you go to IIT Delhi. Now IIT Delhi is in Delhi, but IIT Kharagpur is also not in a big city. That doesn't mean that IIT Kharagpur will going to have a lower, quality of education. It's in a smaller city only. You're going for the institution. So you have to understand this thing. Like we have IITs in India and AIMS in India, one of the best tech education and medicine education. You can go to these institutions. Similarly, in other countries, they also have their IITs, their AIMS, right? And we name them as a state universities most of the time in Europe. So you go to Estonia, you have Talent Tech. You go to Poland, you have Warsaw Tech, Czech Republic, Czech Tech, Lithuania, Vilnius Tech, Latvia, Riga Tech. And these universities are as good as IITs, and they also hold the rankings as much as IITs hold on a global ranking of US and higher education rankings.
Well, that is quite an information. And yes, of course, listening to what you currently said, I also believe that, when I said that quality of education may have been compromised, but according to you, what you said, since everything is recognized by EU, I am pretty sure that quality of education is what student is getting at a very, very affordable price.
True.
Great. That's good to know. So, are you currently getting the students whose first choice is Lithuania or Latvia? Or is it the trend that student who is not accepted by any other country is coming to this bracket?
Okay. So we need to understand one thing. Students from India or neighboring countries, when they are choosing Europe as a study destination, they have to be, very mindful in terms of what are they choosing. So let's say yesterday I met a student who wanted to apply for a Hungarian university, and he was very specific about the university only because he has his relatives there and his cost of living will be absolutely free. I understand the reason. So if you're buying education in Europe and you want to have a brand, you want to go to Germany, France, Spain, much more known destinations, you will pay for the brand value. You pay the tuition fee, for the brand. But students from common man of India, right, that segment, where they always used to say that going abroad is not possible in 3.5 lakh rupees. You cannot go and study engineering program in 4 lakh rupees. So these students now are ditching the Indian institutions and going for the affordable Europe. Coming to Latvia, Lithuania, the reason why I say Lithuania among the best of those countries, the whole Baltic lines or Eastern European line of the opportunity Lithuania is giving to Indian students is way above than the nearby countries like Poland, Latvia, Estonia. So that's why among this belt of the Eastern Europe, Lithuania is one of my top suggestion to students who want to study in Europe at Indian cost. So the cost is still gone pretty high now. I mean, when we started 2012, it was around about 3,000 euros for a good program in Vilnius Tech University. Now they have to pay 5.5 lakh rupees for a same program. But the same program will cost you 15 lakh rupees in Sweden. and the same education. So I'll give you a small example. You go to Sweden, you go to a university which is in outskirts of Sweden, going to charge you 15 lakh rupees versus Vilnius Tech in Lithuania charging you a 5 lakh rupees tuition fee. It is 3 times more. Accommodation is around about 18,000 rupees in Vilnius in the hostel. If you go to Sweden, it is approximately 50,000 rupees, 2.5 times nearly. Now, the question comes here is, if one student go to Sweden, second goes to Lithuania, they both did a master's in mechanical, let's say, for 2-year program, 120 ECTS again. They both have a 1 year job seeker visa. They both apply for a job in Germany. They both will go and for the interview on the same date, having the same visa, which they have Schengen visa, TRP card, residence permit card, and they both actually apply for it, the same job. The question is, in the interview, who going to get the job? What do you think?
I think you are the best person to answer this.
Let's say if you have to answer it, what do you think?
So, well, according to what you said, since the education platform and the recognition is same, I think both of them holds a chance to get a job. But the one who studied from a lesser cost will have a better benefits.
Why?
It's all about return on investment. Whatever I had invested, and I'm getting a job for, let's suppose, 50% of what I've invested initially. Of course, I'm in a better place than the other student.
Okay, I see them on a different point of view. Bhumika, you are in the industry for many years now. You know, a lot of students from major part of India, they only have a fraction of the cost, the total cost, and they go abroad. Am I right?
Yeah.
So let's say people go for education and they have to, let's say, tuition fees 15 lakh rupees. 2 years is 30 lakh rupees. Then you have living costs. So 30 lakh rupees plus another 20 lakh rupees, 50 lakh rupees, you need to go to Sweden. Let's suppose you only have 20 lakh rupees. What will you do? You'll go and work and you will try to earn money, and you are going to try to earn more and more money because you want to fund your second year tuition fee and living expenses, and sometimes the living expenses of the first year also. And this is very true, right? And what happened? You compromise on your education. This guy who only have to pay 5 lakh rupees, right, for tuition fee, 18,000 rupees for hostel, he's going as compared to Chennai or Mumbai, same thing, same pricing. You go to VIT Vellore and SRM Chennai, you pick up the tuition fee of the bachelor degree program. The last time I saw it was 4 to 5 lakh rupees. Maybe it increased now. But this guy has low tuition fee. He doesn't have to take bigger loan, less stress, no big installments. Now comes the major part. He doesn't even have to work too much because to pay off the loans, he will study more. In the long run, he is the one who have better education because he was focusing on education and other activities, Erasmus exchange. Whereas there's the Sweden guy, if he didn't have enough money and he chose to go to Sweden, he has to work more, which means that he will have lesser hours to study. This is the big difference. Now, I'm not saying everybody can't afford Sweden. People can afford Sweden as well. So if you can afford Sweden or Germany or Denmark or Spain, you should go there. Absolutely a great education, but only if you can afford it. If you only afford 1 year tuition fee and then you want to go and pay your tuition fee of 15 lakh rupees and your living expenses by working there, then you're going on a working permit, which is not true, right? So I think this explains the answer to the first question: who will get the better opportunity? Definitely a student who has gone through a economical education, and at the same time during the interview, both the student will hold a European Union degree, and they both are not from Germany, right? So which means that the one who have the best knowledge and also have the better network and exposure. So if you go to Germany, I go to Lithuania, I will save the money and I will travel more, and I can beat you more in the different way, in the job interview. Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay. Oh, well, that was quite an information. So of course, as an Indian parent, I will also want my child to study and focus on the education, because as a parent, that will be my primary focus again.
Yes.
And if that is on the affordable side, I will rather encourage my children to go and have that quality education, um, looking at the long term aspects. So I believe you've answered that big elephant in the room, that if as a student I have to convince my parents to go to a country which is very less known, which is not heard by a lot of people, if this is what my aim is and I'm looking at the long term prospect, of course you're very right on your side that that is a right place to be and have a right education. So Mr. Deepinder, with your experience, tell me, what are the drawbacks here?
Drawbacks is, of course, everything has pros and cons. So if you go to Eastern Europe, winters is a bit harsh. 2 months is like, okay, -20. If you can't handle -20, of course, everything has heated. Second thing, you go to Europe, everywhere you have to learn language. But Eastern Europe now has become the hub of service industry. If you see the number of companies opening in Baltic region, Estonia is known for its e-residency. Why? A lot of entrepreneurs are opening their companies there. Latvia Lithuania is known for its service sector now. Tech Mahindra has got a 500-seater set up there now in Latvia. Why Latvia? Tech Mahindra had opened this in Germany. If you go to Lithuania, you see the fintech growth is amazing. I'm going to put my video here on the bio now in this video. A job fair in Vilnius Tech University in Lithuania, where I was shooting the whole video, and student can see in the backdrop, these videos, if you see, the posters on the job stalls are in English language. I spoke to Western Union, and it's on the record, in this video, which I put on the bio. They say the working language is English. Bhumika, Western Union says the working language in English. On camera, on record, if Accenture is saying I'm taking boot camp student through a boot camps, I'm again putting this bio again for Accenture, student from Accenture who want to listen them out. Accenture hires a lot of Indian students who was in Lithuania. What more you need? You paid a small amount. You got a quality education in a public university, in a world rank university, Riga Tech or Vilnius Tech, or Talent Tech. And you are also can work full time for master degree students. And you can also have a recognized education followed by a post-study work visa. You finish your education, you did 2 years masters, 1 year job seeker visa, you covered 3 years of PR already, you work for 2 more years, you apply for permanent residency. Now, who else is doing it in Europe? Finland is already asking for 6 years now, right? So Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Czech Republic, these countries are for those students who first want to have good education, second, don't want to pay too much of tuition fee. Very simple, economical people who cannot afford too much money, right? Coming to the small cities, yes, Kharagpur is small, Kanpur is small, but when you have IITs in these cities, that's where you go for. So the benefits of these universities is also that you can also go for Erasmus exchange. I also have another video on Erasmus exchange. I'm going to put this also in the bio, where people can understand what is Erasmus exchange. So students can study a part of the education in Baltics or Czech Republic, and the part in Germany, Denmark, Sweden. Right. So this all together brings you a good understanding of European Union education system, and you can choose as a student where do you want to study. Some places you might qualify because you have the 3 years bachelor degree. Some you don't. So I give you a small example. Yesterday, this gentleman who came in, he wanted to study finance. He applied for this Hungarian university and he got a BTech electronics, and he also have CFA done. But they refused him. They said, you don't have finance background. So now he said, I only want to go to Hungary and I only want to go to CU. And he doesn't want to look at any other university. But then that university or many universities do not give you the program in the finance sector because you have to have a finance background or a bachelor in finance for sure. Now he's very adamant. I said, I'm going to give you the same deal, same price in probably another country. So student gets stuck. No, I only want to go here only. So this is what I tell students, be open when you go to Europe, have a quality education at affordable tuition fee or expensive tuition fee as per your choice, but be open to apply to multiple universities and also be open for job opportunities. Sometimes people who apply for jobs in Poland while they studied in Germany. But the same guy says that I'm not getting a job in Germany, but I got a job in Poland. It's okay. Rather than being unemployed, I have a job in Poland, and then they end up for Poland for 3 to 4 years and then they switch. So this is what Europe is about. Europe is about different opportunities at different times. You have to evaluate them and grab it as soon as possible.
Thank you so much for giving us such a beautiful insight about Europe, expensive side, affordable side. Yes, it was a very deep information on the psychology of a student who is willing to pick up a program. Whether he should go for the affordable side or the expensive side completely depends on the student's financial situations, point of views of parents, and the external factors like the student's own profile, eligibility, and everything. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. This was the first episode of our podcast, and I will term it as No Dead Europe here.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.